Hey guys, so today we're gonna focus on milling exactly to be a center line or line center, and we're doing these flats over here. So this flat's got 125,000. It's got 130,000, but we're gonna do 125,000 radius, and the numbers you should be focused on like actually from point here to this point, which is 180 and 280. Okay, so it's exactly 1 inch width. Now we're gonna use a half an inch end mill with 125,000 corner. So line center actually it calculates the middle of the end mill. So let's say if you want the end mill to to start with the 180, you add half an inch to the actually quarter inch, so half of the end mill to the dimension, and also you have to subtract quarter inch from the end of the flat. So let me show you how the program looks like. I will take a picture and post it. So you go with the line center. This is outside, so you're using a ZY. Stock removal, you set it as 100. Approaches are automatically set. And the way it works, it's since the depth of the flat is 125,000 minus 10,000, so I set it as 1 inch and 245,000 divided by 2. This is shift R. And since we're starting at 1 inch 80, you add that a quarter inch, which is a half of the end mill, so you end up at 1 inch and 333. And the way that works is pretty much, I will show you once the milling goes, but we're starting underneath the part on the Y at a minus 100. It actually goes a little bit lower because it always gives you, just like when you're cutting a face or when you're cutting anything, it always starts at 40 or 80,000, depends of the size of the machine before the part, so it does the same thing. That's why I got it at minus 100, because when I put it at minus 300, it was just starting too low. So what line center is? So line center, and we've done before, I've done a video on line lab, is where, let's say this is your end mill. This is the center of the end mill. She follows the center. So for example, if you're doing a flat, this is, let's say, start of your piece, and this is your 0, and you want the end mill to start here, and you tell the machine to start from, let's say, 0 to 1 inch. She will start with an end mill like this. So she starts with the center. So let's say if your flat is only going down to 0 to 1 inch, I'm sorry, and the end mill is gonna come down here, and this is a half an inch end mill, so half of the half an inch is gonna be a 1/4, right? Just like in my case. Then she would actually give you a flat at 1 inch and 1/4, because like the 1 inch is here, plus another 1/4 from here to here, so now we're ending up at 1 inch and 1/4. So if you only trying to go up to 1 inch, you would have to go to 0.75. Okay, and the same thing is so this is how line center works. So like if you look at this drawing, and it calls for the flat to be 3/4, okay, plus another radius, which is 130,000. but we actually doing 125,000 because I'm using a half an inch end mill with 125,000 radius. So I'm actually doing 1 inch, because if you add 125 or 125, that's a quarter to the 3/4. So you know, my line starts with 180 and finishes at 280. But when you look at the program, I'm starting at 133 because I had to add a 1/4 inch to that 180, and then I had to subtract. Okay, I had to subtract 1/4 inch from the 280. Like I said, because she only goes to she does the same. So the finishing part looks like this. This is the part. These radiuses are from the end mill. And like I said, so you have the line center on the ZY. The first line is going to be your shift R. So this is a half an inch of what are you trying to do. So not where you're starting. So my dimension is 1 inch and 250 minus 5,000. So you divide this by 2. So if it's 1 inch, your flats are what should be at 1 inch. You put a half an inch over it. Simple as that. So half of the radius. And then, you know, your starting point, your Z, and this is going to be a Y movement. And I'm going to show you exactly what she does and how this thing works. So we are going Z. On a Z, it's going to be 1 inch 330, and we're starting on a minus Y. So she's going to go up. Let me see if I can do in a single operation. So right now we're gonna do a line 1, okay? So this is gonna be this one. So 1 inch and 330,000 is where the center of the end mill is gonna be, and it's gonna be minus 100 on the Y. Okay, so this is gonna be the first move. So she's going off on the Y. Okay. So we went up on the Y. So we had 1 inch and 330, and at 300 on the Y. So now she's gonna actually move to the next one. So she's gonna move on the Z. She's gonna stay high on the Y. Okay. So right now we are here. So now we're at 1.6 on a Z, and we get the focus. And now we're gonna go back down to minus 300. The reason I have minus 100 because when the machine starts, she always starts earlier, right? To give you some room. So when I started at minus 300, she started just way too low. With I don't need for her to go that low, so I picked it up a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna go down, and then she's gonna keep shifting to the left. Okay, so she went that minus 100. She goes back on the Z, and she goes up again. And she's done. So let me draw you exactly where she's going. So look at the program again. And so if this is our flat, okay, what the machine does, it starts right here on the bottom. She goes here. Okay. So that's from 1 inch 330 minus 100. Now she went up on the same axis, on the same Z, to plus 300. And she's gonna stay at the plus 300, then she's gonna go to 1 inch and 600 on the Z. So she's gonna do this. Okay, that's 1.6 Z. Now she's going back to that minus 300. Okay, which is this one. And now we're going to 1 inch and 830 on the Z. 1 inch 830 on the Z. She's doing this. And she's going up. Okay, to plus 300, right? So this is minus 300. This is plus 300 and a Y. So that's all she does. You can do, you can do these any way you want it, but they're very simple. Doesn't do any extra moves. She just you can do only a finish on flats like this. And like I said, since I'm using a 1/2 inch with 125,000 radius, that's how I get these nice. That's how I get these radiuses on the corner. It just leaves them from. And since this is 1 inch, 1 inch total groove, that's why I have to do 3 passes. Because I try to do a pass like this. It didn't clean it up in the middle. Maybe if I would try to kind of go a little bit higher, it would maybe grab that middle. But since I do have these radiuses, automatically I use a bunch of real estate of the end mill. So 3 passes kind of just, like I said, 1, 2, and 3 passes just kind of cleaned it up. So there's 2 of them actually. So there's one, and like I said, there's one here. Let me look at the drawing. One here and one here. The only thing, so I actually copied the top program, and the only thing I've changed was the position C at 180. So we have the position C at 0, position C at 180. Everything else stayed the same. And this is how you use the line center. So very simple. Mazak did a really good job once again on how simply you can just do your lines. There's pretty much no limit of what you can use these for. It's very simple, and it's one of the I think one of the better options to use if you're new to milling like myself, because it's pretty straightforward. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.